Philip, what's the key message you'll be taking to President Sarkozy and the rest of the G20?
G20, you've got a second chance to get things right. When the financial crisis first broke in 2008, there was a flurry of activity, there was a coordinated response. Since then, you've been asleep at the wheel. The financial crisis is now reaching a third stage, if you like, and it requires a coordinated response with a social face.
What about the protests? What influence will they have on the outcome?
We have to look back over the cycle of time. In 2010, when we began to see what austerity cuts meant to working people and the world's population, we've seen the trade union movement rise in Europe and elsewhere in the world. We've had the Arab Spring. We're now into the third cycle of protest with the Occupy Wall Street, Occupy London, Occupy Frankfurt, Occupy Melbourne movement. I think this is an authentic voice. This is a voice from the grassroots. It's a voice from the people who are unemployed, a voice from the people who are dispossessed, a voice of the people who don't see any hope with the continuation of the current system. Therefore, that's why we say to the G20, you've got a second chance to get this right. Neoliberal policies don't work. The orthodoxy that we have seen, that we were duped into accepting, that the market knows best, that the bankers knows best, that Wall Street knows best, is no longer valid. This is a genuine voice, it's not a marginal voice, and inside everybody's hearts and minds, the message to G20, you've got to change the rules of the game.
What is the best outcome we can get from Cannes?
A recognition that something has to happen. This is not a business as usual meeting. We want to see an urgent message, jobs as the #1 priority, a new kind of sustainable development with green jobs. We want the bankers put back in their place. We need a financial transactions tax. The taxpayers around the world have bailed out the financial system. It's time they started paying them back with a financial transactions tax. Close down the tax havens, close down the tax advantages that the rich people have. Everybody must pay their fair share. But it's above all jobs, green jobs, social protection, and tackling inequality. You will not tackle inequality with an assault on trade union rights that we have seen. Now we need to make sure that the methods of redistribution, from a fair tax system to a system whereby there's a minimum wage and collective bargaining. Collective bargaining is the best way of distributing the wealth that the private sector creates. So on those points, we think that that's the message that we would like to hear. We're hopeful that we'll get some movement, but there's a new, as each day passes, there's a new feeling of urgency that these matters have to be addressed. And I hope in the days to the G20 that around the world, ordinary citizens will join the Occupy Wall Street movement with a simple gesture of turning up where these encampments are and expressing their support. We can change the world. The time is there. We have an opportunity to do this, but we need people's support.